All right, so peptides. It feels like you can't scroll for 5 minutes right now without even seeing that word. Like that's what it looks like, right? In your skincare, whether it's your collagen powder or your hair care, like it's everywhere. All right, so today, what I want to do is answer the question that I get asked the most, and that is, what actually is a peptide and why is everyone like suddenly talking about them? All right, so we're going to talk about that. By the time we're done, you're going to be able to understand exactly what they are, what they are not, and what you shouldn't be afraid of, basically. But more than anything, how this could actually fit into something that I personally care far more than just a trend, and that's the word prevention. Okay, so here's where all this comes from. I was never chasing a wellness, buzzword, peptide. Okay, peptides have been around for over 10 years, okay? So it wasn't just a buzzword, it was actually something that I personally dug in and looked into based on my story. So 29 years ago, I got into home detox, right? Norwex, that has become a lifestyle for us. How to, remove things that are coming into my home, the way I clean, the way I care for my body, that perhaps are not going to do me any good in the future, right? And I saw the effects that it had on my mama, the effects that it had on my son, in our homes, on our bodies. And that's I got into that, and it wasn't trendy either. Okay. So my mom, I watched her go through liver failure. She was given the gift of a liver transplant and then a lifetime of medication just to keep that liver alive. And so medication that actually comes with its own side effects, right? So it gave her more years, but it did take something from her as well. And so that's the moment that honestly prevention became not just a buzzword for me, but it really became personal. And so I never wanted to be standing where she stood and wishing that I had started sooner. Plus, mama was talking about it all the time as well, right? So that why is what has led me to Norwex, to home detox, to, looking at the ingredients of the foods that I'm eating and what I'm feeding my fuel, how I'm like fueling my gut, right? So gut health and all of that. And then it led me to understanding peptides because I knew it was something that we already had in our body, but I just didn't understand what was happening here now in my body as I was going through perimenopause and how it all connected. All right, so let's talk about this. The word itself, peptides, sometimes, either scares people or just like confuses people or just honestly, like me, I just had no idea what it was and, how that even correlated with anything that I was going through. Okay, so a peptide is simply a short chain of amino acids. This is like science class, right? Going back to school, a short chain of amino acids. Your body, my body, is already making them constantly. They're basically little text messages, okay? Think of your phone. You're sending a little text message. It's text messaging your cells and sending back and forth. You're texting back and forth all day long, getting things done. So whether it's, let's heal a tissue, let's regulate your hormones, right? Wait, you're full. Oh, time to repair something that's, worn down. And what happens is with age and stress, okay, so those two combined, some of those messages, they get weaker. It's not that they stop being sent. They're still sending the text messages. They just don't come through as clearly, okay? This is how I can picture it. So here's the part that honestly tripped me up is the word synthetic. When I heard synthetic, I was like, oh yeah, I want just the natural things. So I immediately went towards the word natural, and I was like, synthetic, I don't want synthetic. Because I get it. Synthetic, for me, it can sound scary because synthetic, to me is like, oh, it's not, it's man-made, right? But here's the thing. When it comes to peptides, synthetic doesn't necessarily mean that it's fake or foreign. It actually means precise. Precise. So insulin, for example, that's been around for a long time, right? Since the 90s. Insulin is actually a great example. It's used as a peptide medicine, though it's a prescription, right? As a peptide for a long time, okay, now. And the earliest versions actually came from animal sources, which meant that there was going to be variation from batch to batch. So science eventually figured out how to create it synthetically instead. That's insulin. And it meant that it was going to be identical, precise, and predictable every single time. So that person could take insulin and they would know exactly how to tell them, what to tell them, what to expect, right? Okay, so honestly, that's something not to fear. That's actually what makes it a lot more safer. And so that's how the word synthetic, precise, that's what it means, okay? So when we talk about peptides, we're not talking about putting something foreign into our body, into your body. We're talking about supporting a communication system that your body already runs on. It's just become weaker, and the peptide is going to provide that stronger signal. Okay, so it comes through much better, right? It's not going to be like, hey, not delivered, right? Like when your Wi-Fi goes down or something, right? It's a weak signal, right? So here's what I actually want you to walk away with just from this little blurb about what peptides is, more than anything else, okay? For me, it was never about the number on the scale, okay? It was truly about building something, providing something in my body, creating an environment that would help my body process and send those messages at a stronger signal based on what I was already doing. So it takes discipline. And if you're like, oh, I don't have the discipline, that's okay. That's okay. Because we can all start somewhere, okay? So it takes hard work. You got to put in the work. You got to track your, the food, the protein. You got to do your exercises, whatever the movement is that you've decided you're going to do. You got to do that, all right? You've got to manage your sleep. Like, let's get some good sleep. Let's go to sleep a little earlier, or let's get, like, you got to manage that. Those are all important. The foods that you're eating are all important, okay? We're not getting rid of any of that. All we're doing is we're making the signal stronger. So your body has an environment that can actually respond to what you're doing. What happens in perimenopause is you get, the older you get, those messages get weaker and weaker. And so it doesn't matter. You might be working out 5 days a week, strength training, running, doing all the things, eating lettuce, and the weight's not budging, right? You're still looking at that scale. The weight is not budging. And you're just like, what am I doing wrong? I can't get it, right? It's the message is the signal is weak. And so that's what these peptides do. It creates a stronger signal so that your body responds to what you are already doing. So research consistently shows that when as we age, the muscle also that we're producing is lower. So we get lower muscle mass, lower strength, and it's all linked to higher risk of frailty, right? Think about how the older you get, the higher the risk of falling and actually breaking something. Also, functional decline, right? Think about, heart disease and heart attacks and cancer and liver failure and even diabetes, like all of these things, mortality. So it could lead to death, right? So muscle isn't just about how you look. It's actually one of those most protective things that you can do for yourself as you get older, And so it's the thing that honestly I don't hear much talk about. We're talking peptides and they think, oh, it's a shortcut. I'm going to wait. I'm going to, lose the weight because those are GLP-1s, right? That's a peptide. And I'm going to lose the weight, but then we don't put in the effort of like, you're not going to be hungry when you get a GLP-1, right? So you're going to lose weight, but you have to eat. And what you want to track the most is protein, right? So you have to have yourself like track protein and strength train so that you are building muscle and losing actual fat, right? You don't just want to lose weight and then in the process you're losing muscle. We obsess over weight so much, but we rarely talk about strength. And so that's exactly why I built my own health plan, okay? And it includes peptides. Yes, ma'am, absolutely. It's around building and protecting the muscle. That's what my health plan is, right? I'm not just chasing that smaller number. As a matter of fact, I might have gained a pound or two more actually since I started weightlifting and taking, and I'm going to talk about the different peptides that I've taken and experienced myself. But a body that's strong is a body that can actually carry you through the decades ahead. And so we're going from wellness products to prescription therapy. That's what I'm going to talk about, okay? So if you're curious where to even start, I'm going to tell you that one size does not fit all, okay? But I personally started with oral peptides from Make Wellness. It's a wellness product. It's not a prescription, okay? I use these consistently for about 18 months. One, to help me build lean muscle. So as I was lifting, it would send the messages, hey, Evelyn's lifting. Let's help, let's send those signals to, to the brain and to the body, and let's help her build that lean muscle because she's putting in the work, okay? Then I also took, capsules, lean, that would help me with, reducing that visceral fat and breaking it down. It's around the organs, and those are the things that you want to really, really take a look at. So it would actually break it down and then recycle it into energy, so it wouldn't use my own fat for energy, thinking, she's not eating. And then, of course, electrolytes, okay? This I still take. Electrolytes, okay? So that is one. That is a good way. It's a gentle, easy, real, on ramp if you're brand new to peptides and you just want to dip a toe in. Right now, they're $25 off of a $99 order, okay? So it's actually a great way for new people, All right, it's a great way to dip your toes. From there, I moved into prescription peptide. All right, so prescription peptide therapy. These are injections. It's a completely different level with a real practitioner looking at my labs, my goals, my history, a pharmacy that actually verifies exactly what's in every vial, okay? That's the piece that I never compromise on. That's a lot of there's a lot of unregulated sourcing out there right now, and I'd always just rather you start slow and safe than fast and risky. This is personally the one I'm taking, tesamorelin KPB. It's a dual peptide. It's got two different functions, two different text messages that it's sending. Tesamorelin, this one is FDA approved currently right now. You can get it from, a doctor, just the tesamorelin, but with the KPB that creates a compound. It makes it a compound, okay? So that compound you cannot get it from your regular doctor. So I have partnered with a company, LEMD, to be able to not just have this for myself, but to be able to provide it to you guys, to my friends, to my customers, to those that are also looking for this. Okay, so tesamorelin actually is FDA approved to also break down the visceral fat. All right, so I no longer take this one. Now I'm doing the injection. Okay, and it comes in a little bag like this. When you get your protocol, it gives you instructions. They give you the vial, they give you the needles, and they give you the swabs. You are working directly with a practitioner. You take an intake form. They review it. They say yes or they say no, right? And once it's approved, and you do pay ahead of time, but once it's approved, then they'll mail it to you. And I got it within 3 days, but usually I say 7 to 10 days, but it's, you know, it has to be in the refrigerator. So once it ships and it gets to you pretty easily. All right. So there's a lot of unregulated sourcing out there right now, and I just want you to make sure that you start slow and you start safe and not fast and risky. So wherever you're starting, a gentle wellness product or something, you know, more targeted like this injection, the same rule applies. You go in educated, you go in with real oversight. KPB has helped me with the inflammation. So right here, this shoulder, pain, whether you have tennis, whatever, like all these inflammation, it's all but gone. Like I cannot believe this I've had for years. And then I injured it shortly, you know, I was weightlifting maybe like 2 years, and then I like did a funny move and I injured it. And I was like backtracking at that. I felt horrible, right? So I moved into this more peptide therapy, and it was just regulated, right? So it was more targeted. And then the tesamorelin helps with the visceral fat. That's what I was telling you about. Okay, so go in educated, go in with real oversight. Doctors are always like, hey, you know, they tell you, basically, I'm just leading you to the doctor that maybe your provider, your health doctor, primary doctor cannot have this conversation with you, right? They can't prescribe these peptides because, yeah, I mean, even on the 23rd in Washington, D.C., they're going to have this conversation. And they've already kind of written it off, that they don't want, you know, the pharmacies with the health doctors to actually prescribe these compounds. And they say there's not enough human data, but there is. They don't have it, right? Because they're not providing it. It's us. So it's me. So I'm telling you, okay? And then there's a ton of other clients from other doctors, practitioners that are actually providing this, all right? So I get mine through a telehealth company, LEMD. I love the pharmacy, and it's great. It's super easy, and I've partnered up with them to be able to actually share this with you. So I want to leave this with you. Taking care of your body was never meant to be about vanity. For me, it was an act of stewardship, attending well to the one body that I've been given so that I can actually show up for the people that I love for as long as I possibly can. But here's the key. I want to live better longer. I don't want to just live longer and be dependent. I want to on all the treatments and things like that, but I want to live better longer. So before you do anything else, I want you to come home to yourself, get honest with yourself. What's going on in your body? What's your body telling you? Pray on it, if that's in your heart, and then just take one small informed step, and instead of just waiting for the Sunday and then it's like gone, right? So if any of this resonated with you today, here's exactly where to go. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do, okay? Depending on where you're starting. If you want to start at home, cleaning up your space and supporting your body from the outside in, the timing is perfect, right? The Christmas in July sale is here. It's live. You know, get that taken care of. It's got all my Norwex home detox tools I've used for over 13 years now. Okay, if you want to start gently, though, the way that I did with oral bioactive peptides, Make Wellness is the company that I have partnered up with. Right now, they have a $25 off your order of $99 or more. So I'm going to tell you, this one is more than 99. Lean is less than 99 at the electrolytes, and it's over 99. Okay, it's running as part of the same sale, but it's a separate purchase, so I will, that link is, you'll find it below. Okay, and if you are further along and you're wondering about prescription peptide therapy, maybe your own doctor hasn't brought it up, or it wasn't sure about what to do with what you're feeling, I've partnered up again with this telehealth company, LEMD. It has its own doctors, its own 503A pharmacy, and I'm putting the link below, okay? Their team takes the time to actually listen to your symptoms, your health goals, your works. You can, in fact, schedule an appointment with them. It is a $50 appointment, and they can guide you through that. You can do that. Or you can just take the intake form and you pay up front, right? And then they look at it on their end and they approve you, whether they approve you or not. If not, if you don't get approved, then you get money back, okay? So whether you start at home, wellness, or working with a provider, I'd love to be able to help you, okay? So just go, and the links are below. If you have any questions at all, just message me or just text me. I'm right here. Okay, bye for now.